How many people we got in the class? It's 12, is it?
Yes, Maharaj. Mostly there are 10 students at least.
Huh?
There are 10 students at least in this class.
Oh. I got the names of 12. Then I asked for the names they sent me. So can we begin?
Well, it's like students are joining 2-3 minutes more, Maharaj.
2-3 more minutes. Oh, okay. Right, we're beginning from here, chapter 7. Most of the devotees are from Delhi, is it? Most of the devotees are from Delhi, Prabhu?
The Maharaj approximately joining and many had joined. So let me introduce.
Wait. Maharaj is asking, like, devotees are from Delhi. No, Maharaj is from different countries.
Different states, yeah.
Yes. Not our state. Right? There are international devotees from America, UNO, etc. Few of them are Indian.
Okay. Okay.
Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I am Govinda Das from state of Odisha, attached to ISKCON Burla. So it is very glorious and fabulous occasion for all of us that Maharaj, despite his busy schedule and invaluable precious time, he had consented to take up our classes. So it's a privilege and advantage for all the devotees. Maharaj has a very prolific and historic devotional record. His eminence and erudite scholarship in spiritual science. He had already taken classes in part 1, Bhakti Vaibhava. His class was so inspirational and motivational that many devotees later on discussed that how Maharaj was beautifully inspiring and motivating all of us. So it's definitely a glorious and auspicious occasion for all of us to take the advantage from Maharaj's class. So I am deeply obliged to Maharaj's teachings and his messages to all the devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaihevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everyone to our continuing study here, Bhakti Vaibhava, the second part of the Bhakti Vaibhava, where you're studying Canto 4 up to Canto 6. and we're on Canto 6 here, and this is Chapter 7. We're beginning to this evening here. Chapter 7, entitled Indra Offends His Spiritual Master Brihaspati. So we can see without much difficulty what is the connection between these two chapters, the previous Chapter 6 and Chapter 7. And Chapter 6 finished with a description how the Brahmana Twashta gave birth, he fathered 2 sons in the womb of a woman who was from the family of the demons. And one of the sons was Twashta, rather Vishwarup. Twashta was the father, Vishwarup was one of the sons. And this Vishwarup went on to become the guru of the demigods. So it was mentioned how he became the guru of the demigods. It said that somehow the guru of the demigods, namely Brihaspati, he had abandoned the demigods because the demigods had disrespected him. So the Chapter 7 begins like that. We're going to hear Maharaj Parikshit begins by questioning here, and I'm sharing the screen here so you can see the text. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, "O great sage, what did the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, do? That he rejected the demigods who were his own disciples. What offense did the demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident." Certainly very important. We want to understand exactly what we should be doing and what we should be careful not to do when we're dealing with the spiritual master. Connection with the spiritual master. You know, disciples, we often like to get close to our guru, but at the same time, Srila Prabhupada used to tell us, he said, don't get too close, don't get too far away. So like that, this is the principle in dealing with the spiritual master. Don't get too close. Why? You get too close, we will misunderstand, and we'll think of the spiritual master to be like an ordinary person. And then we become offensive. And we get too far away, then we don't take the instructions seriously. We're not valuing the importance of hearing from the spiritual master. So like this, we have to understand, we don't want to be offensive. We want to be very cautious in dealing with the spiritual master. So Prabhupada quotes in the purport, he quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says, this 7th chapter describes how Brihaspati was offended by the demigods, how he left them and the demigods were defeated, and how the demigods followed the instructions of Lord Brahma, accepted Vishwarup as a priest to perform their sacrifice. So, Sukadeva Goswami begins his reply. There are many verses there together, and Sukadeva Goswami is describing the situation in the palace of Indra. How Indra, the king of heaven, is sitting there surrounded by all the different demigods, and even great saintly persons are all there. And he's being worshipped. They're fanning him, and they're all offering respects and doing different services. The Apsaras and Gandharvas are singing and dancing with sweet musical instruments. and there's the white umbrella symbolizing that Indra is a king, and the umbrella is as effulgent as the full moon. So the peacock fans are going, and the yak tails, the chamaras are being used, and Indra's sitting there with his wife together on the throne, and it's at this time that Brihaspati comes in the assembly. And Brihaspati is the best, he is a great sage. He's the guru of Indra and the demigods, and he's meant to be respected. He is actually respected both by the demigods and the demons. Even the demons, although he's not the guru of the demons, but they respect him because they know his spiritual position. So although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat to offer a seat to his spiritual master, nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show his respect. So, what was the cause? Why did Indra not show respect to Brihaspati? What is the reason? Someone can tell me? What caused Indra to not offer respects to his own spiritual master? Yes, Prabhu, you have your hand up. Who is it? What's her name? Padma? Yes, Prabhu, who had their hand up? They put their hand down, is it? Sundar Govinda Prabhu, Govinda Dev Prabhu, you can tell me, what do you think? Oh, all right, Padaseva Prabhu, you have your hand up. What was the cause? Padaseva, can't hear you. Oh, very difficult to hear you. Can you hear what he said, Prabhu? Anyone? Where are you? Which part of the globe are you in? I cannot hear a word you say, Prabhu. Oh. What about, we ask Mataji, the ladies are usually more intelligent, right? What about this Madhavi, Harishwari Madhavi, Mataji?
Because he was very proud of his opulence.
Opulence, right. Proud of his opulence. That's right. The opulence. Of course. I mean, we have to be sympathetic. He was in the heavenly planets. He was really opulent. You know, we have a little opulence here on this planet. It's nothing compared to the heavenly planets. And look at the situation Indra was in. Surrounded by so many demigods and the Apsaras and the Gandharvas, and they're all worshipping him, they're glorifying him, and then his spiritual master comes in. Well, it was a real test of his humility, and he didn't immediately respond. He didn't offer any respect. Can you think of another situation where a similar thing happened? Where somebody did not offer respects to the spiritual authority?
As far as I remember, Indra, when he was forgetting to offer respect to Brihaspati.
Indra forgot to offer respects to who?
Yeah. Brihaspati, but this is what we are talking right now, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Indra here. But I was thinking, there's another example. I was thinking,
Maharaj, Bali Maharaj?
Bali Maharaj, what did he do? Bali Maharaj was respectful.
But he rejected his spiritual master when he was instructed.
Well, he rejected the instruction of his spiritual master, but he did not directly disrespect his spiritual. He just did not follow the instruction because of the contradiction. But I was thinking of Lord Balaram coming in Naimisharanya, and Romaharshan Sutta is there, and everyone was respecting Lord Balaram. Everyone got up, or folded their hands, or bowed down. Everyone except Romaharshan Sutta, because Romaharshan Sutta was the speaker, and he was sitting on the elevated seat. And Lord Balaram came into the assembly, and Romaharshan Sutta didn't offer any respects to him. So Lord Balaram took it very seriously. So seriously that he decided to remove Romaharshan Sutta. Anyway, here you have Indra, and we can also think how material opulence in our own way of life, in our own living, how it can also affect us. Have you had any kind of similar experience where you were affected, where you saw others, or where you yourself were influenced by material opulence? How it caused you to not give proper respect to spiritual authorities? Yeah? Anyone? You're not troubled by material opulence. Huh? It doesn't bother you. It doesn't go to your head. If you happen to be riding in your Mercedes-Benz and your spiritual master comes walking by.
Yeah, this is not my problem, no. I don't have a Mercedes. Maybe unfortunately.
Certainly, material opulence can go to our heads in the modern times. What to speak in the heavenly planets. We become proud. And even the poor man is proud of a little wealth. Pride is a big problem. And that's why we have to cultivate austerity. One of the principles of religion is austerity. But austerity is destroyed by intoxication. And pride is another kind of intoxication. We become intoxicated due to wealth, due to fame, due to position in society. It's a very dangerous thing. So we have to be very cautious about these things. How you deal with wealth and how you receive wealth and how you receive honor and respect. We have to be always ready to offer respects to others and not to be eager to be honored and respected by others, but rather we have to be eager to offer respect to others. We can see Lord Shiva had a problem with Daksha, because Lord Shiva, he didn't get up to offer respects to Daksha. But Lord Shiva, he wasn't required to offer his respects to Daksha, because Lord Shiva was in a superior position to Daksha. Lord Shiva is he's the Guna avatar. He's the expansion of the Lord. But Daksha, he's a jiva. Although he was a Prajapati, and although Lord Shiva was married to his daughter Sati, he was, he was like, Lord Shiva was like the son-in-law, and so he was meant to respect his father-in-law. But Lord Shiva's always meditating on the Supreme Lord. So if one is always meditating on the Supreme Lord, if one's mind is always fixed on the Supreme Lord, then you're not required to offer respects to others, because you're already offering respect to the Lord. But that was a special position of Lord Shiva. Generally, we're not always thinking of the Lord, and we do have to offer respects to others. And particularly, we have to offer respect to the spiritual master, and to the brahmanas, and to the spiritual seniors. It's an important part of Vaishnava etiquette. And Prabhupada would notice, Prabhupada would look and watch to see, are the devotees respecting? Are they bowing down? Okay. Let's go ahead. Text number 9. Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home. Brihaspati didn't curse them because he knew they're going to get the reactions on their own. The reactions will come because of their own behavior. He didn't need to curse them. But we see that the problem was Indra was proud. He was puffed up because of his material opulence. And the same situation was there with Daksha in relation to Lord Shiva. In the 4th canto, you remember when you studied the Daksha Yagya, how Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva's on the level with even above Lord Brahma. And Lord Shiva is almost like God. And he was respected by everyone. And Daksha didn't like it, that this man is getting more respect than me. So some envy was there. Anyway, here Indra is just simply affected, intoxicated by his position, by the opulence, by the surroundings. In the Bhagavad Gita, what does Lord Krishna say about material opulence? Who knows the verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Yes, go ahead. Vaya vasayatmika buddhi samadona buddhi. What's the translation? Can somebody help him? Who knows the translation for this verse?
He who is affected by the material opulence and enjoyment, he cannot be fixed in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. In the minds of those who are attached to material opulence and sense gratification, and who are bewildered by such things, then the resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. And so there in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is warning us about the dangers of material opulence. We don't say you cannot have opulence, but don't be bewildered by it. Don't become proud of it. And don't think that because you have some opulence, so you don't have to follow the etiquette. You don't have to respect the seniors. So that's a danger, that we become influenced by material opulence. It goes to our head. And even a little position, a little opulence can go to our head. We have to be very careful. Prabhupada told the story. There was one devotee in Los Angeles. So he was one of the big managers there in the Los Angeles temple. And Prabhupada told the story. He said, this whole material creation is 1/4 compared to the spiritual world. And in this whole material creation, there's an infinite number of universes. And in this infinite number of universes, there's one universe, which we are in, where there's an infinite number of planets. And there's one tiny planet in this universe called Earth. And in this one tiny planet called Earth, there's one country called USA. And in this one country called USA, there are many cities. And there's one city called Los Angeles. And in this one city, Los Angeles, there's many, many streets. And there's one street called Watsika Avenue. And on this Watsika Avenue, there are many, many homes, many houses, there's many buildings. And there's one building which is our ISKCON Center. And in our ISKCON Center, there are many, many devotees. But this one devotee thinks he is controlling the whole creation. He is the center of the whole universe. So Prabhupada was describing how insignificant we are. What is our position in this world? How we're very insignificant. We're nobody. But still, if we get a little position or a little power, it can go to our head. We have to be very careful. So Indra got a problem. However, after Brihaspati left, text number 10 continues, Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Now, you have to understand, Indra is an exalted, it's a position. It's a position given to a living entity, to be the king of heaven. And in order to take that position, it's a very big responsibility. And you have to, the king of heaven, you're responsible for maintaining the order in the universe. So in order to take that position, you have to have a lot of pious activities to your credit. To have these kind of pious activities is necessary before you could ever sit on the throne of the King of Heaven. So try to understand, Indra is not just some lusty guy or some lusty person who somehow he got into heaven and he became the king. But try to understand, he has many pious activities to his credit. And when Brihaspati left the scene, then Indra felt guilty and he began to repent. Now this repentance, that is a good sign. That is, as devotees, Often, sometimes we will do something wrong, we make some mistakes, and we will feel guilty about it. That we should do. We should feel guilt. We should have some mood of repentance that I did wrong, I shouldn't have done like that. And we should think how we can make up for it, how we can improve on this situation. So this is the situation. Indra's repentant, and he's thinking, what to do? Oh my, the guru's gone, Brihaspati's gone. And he's admitting his fault in the presence of the assembly of all the demigods. So text number 11 says, "Oh, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulences. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered the assembly, and thus I have insulted him." Oh, now that is serious. We know that is the first offense in chanting the holy name. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives in propagating. And Prabhupada said, or the Vaishnava acharyas tell us that the first offense, that is the Hatimata offense, the mad elephant offense. The mad elephant offense, because it can destroy the whole creeper of devotion. So very serious, we have to be very careful not to commit such an offense. So text number 12 continues. Indra's reflecting on his situation. He said, "Although I am king of the demigods, who am situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence." So Indra is describing his realization that I made a great mistake by accepting this position, that I'm supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness. But I became proud. I was given so much opulence, and it has polluted my heart. The false ego, the ahankar, which is there within us, covers the soul. And this causes fall down. So Indra is condemning his wealth and opulence. And of course this kind of realization comes to many people. Many times people who are given a lot of wealth, they find that so many problems come, that it breaks the family up. The family all become affected by the wealth and opulence. They don't have the same love and feelings for each other. It's a very dangerous thing. Therefore, Prabhupada's in the purport, he's quoting Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastikam, "Nadanam najanam na sundarim," that I don't want wealth, I don't want followers, I don't want to be praised by others, especially the fair sex. I don't want any of these things. I don't even want liberation. I simply want devotional service, birth after birth. So this is Lord Chaitanya's prayer, and it's a warning, it's an instruction to us. We want to chant the holy name with feeling. We should not be influenced, we should not be affected by material opulence. Queen Kunti's prayer is also there. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribir Edamana Madapuma Naivahati avidatam vai tvam akinchana gocharam. That those who are on the path of material progress. And what is material progress? That janma, oh, I want to be in the good birth, the aristocratic family. And aishwarya, opulence, wealth, and shruta, learning, education, and shri, bodily beauty. These things are so important to people in the material path. So if you're on the path of material progress, you're trying to improve yourself in these things, then Krishna, or Queen Kunti said, you won't know Krishna. It will be very difficult for you to come to know Krishna. Because Krishna is akinchana gochara. Krishna becomes the property of those who are materially impoverished, or those who are not interested in material opulence. We don't say you have to give them up, but don't be proud of them. Don't let it go to your head. Don't think you're better than others because you've got some wealth. We have to see the Lord in the heart of all living entities. So Prabhupada in this purport, he writes about the situation in the Western world. You can see in this purport of text number 12, he said, we are now actually seeing this in America. What are we seeing? The demigods are situated in the mode of goodness, but sometimes even one who is situated in such an exalted position as King Indra, the king of the demigod, falls down because of material opulence. We are now seeing this in America. The entire American nation has need to advance in material opulence without striving to produce ideal human beings. It had tried to advance in material opulence, but it didn't give importance to the character, to the culture of the people. And this is a problem everywhere in the world today, not just in America. We see everywhere in the world that this problem is there. And the result is that Americans are now regretting the wholesale criminality of American society, and are wondering how, and are wondering how America has become so lawless and unmanageable. The situation in American cities, they're very difficult. There's no safety, there's no security. At any time people can be shot or murdered or robbed. Women can be raped. So many dangers are there. The social security, the situation there in America, and not only just in America, it's there in many other countries also. And what is the cause? We give so much importance to material economic advancement, but we don't think about the culture and the proper education of people, giving them proper spiritual knowledge. All right? So it's a very important purport there, text number 12. Prabhupada writes, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nate vidu swarga gatim hi vishnam. Persons who are unenlightened do not know the aim of life, which is to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, both individually and collectively, They try to enjoy so-called material comforts, and they become addicted to wine and women. The men produced in such a society are less than fourth class. They are the unwanted population known as Varna Sankara. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, an increase of Varna Sankar population creates a hellish society. This is the society in which Americans now find themselves. So this was the situation. Prabhupada, of course, wrote this 6th canto, must have been like mid-1970s. About 50 years ago. How much the situation has deteriorated. We cannot say it has improved. Rather, what was in America then is all over the world today. All around the world. Whatever things, the technology comes up and it spreads. And the same way, the culture, the habits, is all spreading around the world. But Prabhupada writes, what is the hope in this situation? Prabhupada said, fortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement has come to America. And many fortunate young men are giving serious attention to this movement. Fortunate young men. At least in Prabhupada's time, there were many fortunate young men. I don't know how the situation is in the USA today. I don't know how much young men are coming to the Krishna consciousness movement. I don't know. But certainly we're always attempting to try to distribute Krishna consciousness more and more. And the young people, they're important, very important. In Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada was asked, he said, why is it your movement attracts so many young people? Because in Prabhupada's time, all the devotees were young. I was in my 20s. And nearly all the devotees were 20s, and some were in 30s. If you were in 30s, you were older. So sometimes reporters would ask Prabhupada, how is it your movement attracts so many young people? And Prabhupada would explain to them, he would say, because that is the time for education. That is the time people need to get education. You go to universities, you go to college, you'll see young people. So similarly, our movement is meant to give people education, to get that kind of culture, to get that knowledge which is not given in any other place, which is so much lacking in the society today. So we try to fulfill that need by distributing Krishna consciousness. Okay, you have your hand up, Prabhu. Is that a question?
Prabhu, actually, whether I am correct or wrong, you were 20 years in the days of Srila Prabhupada? Hare Krishna Maharaj?
Yes. What did you say?
You were 20 years old during the days of Srila Prabhupada?
Yes.
Okay. You joined where in the movement of Srila Prabhupada?
I joined in London.
London, okay.
1971, I was initiated.
1971. So by 1971, you were only 20 years old?
No, 1971, I was 22.
22, okay. Well, yes, thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Yeah? Any other comments or questions?
Maharaj, it is very interesting to know that you joined so early in devotional life. It is very intriguing and
Well, I remember when I joined, I thought, oh, I wish I'd known about Krishna consciousness earlier. I could have joined earlier. I was regretting that I had not joined earlier. That was what was in my mind when I joined. I thought, if only I had come to Krishna's consciousness before. I thought, I'm already 22. Actually, when I joined, most of the devotees, the other devotees, they were teenagers. Some others were in their 20s, but we were not too many. We were a small number in those days. But we were a very, very spiritual society. We lived in a very frugal manner, and we all lived together, and we all worked together, and our whole focus was Krishna consciousness. The whole day was spent in Krishna consciousness, from the morning to the evening. Every day we had Harinam Sankirtan in the streets of London, and morning and evening we were studying Srila Prabhupada's books. All right, so we're hearing about Indra's plight, and he's regretting how he accepted the throne and became offensive to his guru. So Indra continues, text number 13, he said, if a person says, one who is situated on the exalted throne of a king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principle. All right, so Indra's making a point that if you don't show respect to others, then it means you don't know the religious principles. And this is something which, of course, we try to educate people in Krishna consciousness. When we come to Krishna consciousness, we're taught these things. We're taught, we come into the temple room, we bow down before the deities. And we offer worship to the spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada every day in the temple room. We do Prabhupada Guru Puja, and we bow down to him. We were taught when Prabhupada comes, we would bow down to him. So Indra is making the point that just because you're sitting on a big throne, on a big seat, if you don't get up to show respect to people, then it means you don't know the religious principles. I gave the example, Romaharshan Sutta was at fault. The example of Lord Shiva not offering respect was a special case, because Lord Shiva is transcendentally situated. He's the supreme, he's the topmost Vaishnava, so he was not required to offer respect. But Daksha was accusing him of being offensive. And Daksha said he's uncultured, but it was actually Daksha who didn't know the real culture. All right, so this is an important point here. Showing respects to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. We see Lord Krishna, when Sudama came to visit Lord Krishna in Dwarka, then Lord Krishna got up and he worshipped Sudama and he washed the feet of Sudama. And then he fed Sudama and he massaged his feet. Lord Krishna showed us how to respect the brahmanas. And then we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi traveling different places. People would invite him to come to their homes to take food. When he was in Kurmakshetra, he met the Brahmana, and the Brahmana brought him to his home and fed him and worshipped him. And then, of course, the Brahmana wanted to go with Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya told him, no. He said, you stay here. He said, just be Krishna conscious. Tell people about Krishna. So, culture was there. Srila Prabhupada never demanded that we worship. Just like at one point the devotees started to wash the feet of Srila Prabhupada. When he arrived at the place, the devotees brought water and everything and they bathed his lotus feet. So Srila Prabhupada had not told them to do that. But when they wanted to do it, Prabhupada accepted it. And Prabhupada said, oh, now you are learning. Prabhupada appreciated that now they were learning. But of course, washing the feet, washing the lotus feet of someone, that is something which is, you have to be very sensitive about where you are and what kind of country you're in. Because some parts of the world, this will be condemned, very much condemned. You have to be very careful. If you go to countries like maybe in India or Bangladesh, it's not such a big thing because people are familiar with that. But outside of these two countries, then it's a bit difficult because people are not familiar with it. All right, so we're hearing about the importance of culture in the society. Prabhupada writes in the purport here, a civilization in which the people do not know how the society should be formed and how one should advance in Krishna consciousness. In other words, a society concerned only with manufacturing new cars and new skyscrapers every year, and then breaking them to pieces and making new ones, may be technologically advanced, but is not a human civilization. A human civilization is advanced when its people follow the Chatur Varna system, the system of 4 orders of life. And so Prabhupada is explaining about this important point here, that we have to understand what is going on in the world today. This is very much Prabhupada's mood and mission. You can see Prabhupada's making this very clear point, you know, that building new cars and skyscrapers, yeah, it's so important to people. It goes on around the world, everywhere, skyscraper buildings. Oh, you know, more and more. It's not like it's come to... in America, of course, they have their skyscraper buildings already built. But over the years, I'm mostly preaching in Asian countries. And I see more and more building, they're constructing more and more skyscraper buildings. And more cars, the different cars which come. And they're thinking this is advancement. And of course the cars are more and more expensive, they cost more and more money, people have more and more money, and this is how they spend their money. Motor cars, skyscraper buildings. Are the people happier? No. We cannot say that the people are happier. Rather, the stress is greater than ever before. And the criminality is greater. There's more and more crime. You build cars and people will steal the cars. You've got a class of people who are always there waiting to steal the new car, break the car and steal it. The skyscraper buildings, people are jumping out of the windows of the skyscraper buildings because they're so bewildered, they're so depressed, they're so disappointed with the modern lifestyle. So, building the skyscraper building, it didn't help people to come any closer to Krishna. It simply took them further away from the goal of life. Okay, we'll go ahead. We have to... I don't want to get caught up too much in text 14. Leaders who have fallen into ignorance, who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are, in effect, boarding a stone boat. So this example is given here, a stone boat. And so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people go to hell, and their followers go with them. Wow, very powerful statements here. King Indra is speaking about what's happening. You see, the leaders, if we don't have proper leaders to guide the society, then we get these kind of problems. Right? Prabhupada writes in the purport here again about the American society. I've marked it, you can see on the screen through the purport here, text 14. Thus one will board a boat of stone which will sink and drown all of its passengers. Unfortunately, although the American people are extremely eager to get out of materialistic chaos, they are sometimes found to patronize the makers of stone boats. That will not help them. They must take the proper boat offered by Krishna in the form of the Krishna consciousness movement. Then they will be easily saved. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, if society is guided by political diplomacy, with one nation maneuvering against another, it will certainly sink like a stone boat. Political maneuvering and diplomacy will not save human society. People must take Krishna consciousness to understand the aim of life, to understand God, and to fulfill the human mission. So the stone boat, certainly you won't go far, you won't be able to cruise on a stone boat. So again, this is Prabhupada's mood and mission. Prabhupada is trying to save us from these things. Society, which is just simply concerned with politics and diplomacy, then they're missing the goal of life. We're just simply trying to enforce our power. We want to be powerful over other nations. And we're not thinking about the condition of our own nation, just simply by force, by weapons. We want to be powerful over others. We'll just read one more text and then we'll take a break. All right, text number 15. King Indra said, therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head to the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, because he is in the mode of goodness. He is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of the Brahmanas. Now I shall touch the lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him to try to satisfy him. So Indra has become very repentant. The problem is it's too late. It's too late. The damage is already done and Brihaspati's gone. So Prabhupada's purport quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Guru Vastikam, the final verse, by the mercy of the spiritual master, one gets the mercy of Krishna. But without the mercy of the spiritual master, then there's simply havoc in the path of self-realization. So Prabhupada writes, and you can see I've highlighted it, a disciple should never be a hypocrite or be unfaithful to his spiritual master. Very important in dealing with the spiritual master. We must be straightforward. Don't be a hypocrite. Hypocrite. They say one thing is you're doing another. Don't be unfaithful. Okay, couple of hands up. Let's take these questions. Yes, Prabhu has a question. What's the name here?
Sim Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Asim Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. Maharaj, I was just thinking that why Indra is sitting with his wife on the throne, Sachi Devi, because he is is he always sitting with the wife on the throne? Because I never saw a king sitting with his wife on the throne.
Well, it's described like that, yes. That's the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That wife was also there, and just like Lord Rama would sit on the throne with his wife, and Lord Shiva is also there with his wife.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj, actually, I have a question, Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because Maharaj Indra was bewildered because of his material opulence, what illuminated him to realize or to repent that he had committed a blunder by offending his spiritual master, because there is no situation or nothing is explained regarding his transformation. So how can we understand what made him to realize and to bow down his head?
Well, he just saw that his spiritual master had gone. Initially, you know, the spiritual Brihaspati came into the place and he saw everything, and Indra was not doing anything. He didn't get up, he didn't offer respects or anything. So then Brihaspati left. So when Brihaspati left, then it seemed to bring Indra to his senses. And he realized, oh, I've committed a mistake. I should be more attentive. I should give proper respect to my spiritual teacher. And that's what happened. It brought Indra to his senses. But it was too late. Brihaspati had gone. Brihaspati understood what was going on. He understood that Indra has become proud, he's intoxicated, he's bewildered by all the opulence, and he's not offering any respect to his own guru. Now, how important is it to respect the guru? What is the position of the spiritual master? What does the Shastra say?
Spiritual master's instructions must be followed, he should be given respect.
What kind of respect?
As good as Lord.
Yes, as good as the Lord. The spiritual master is honored as the Supreme Lord. Why? What does Guru Vastikam say? Shakshad derek vinasamasta shastre uktastataba vyata evas. The spiritual master is honored as the Supreme Lord. Why? Because someone? Why is the spiritual master honored? Nobody knows?
Because he is the most dear servant of the Lord.
Yes, because he's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and is followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari, Krishna. So, there are many other verses also where we're given importance to the position of the spiritual master. It's a fundamental principle of devotional service that you have to accept initiation from a spiritual master. We have to surrender to a spiritual master. And we have to see that spiritual master as a representative of God. As Srila Prabhupada would sometimes say, he said, when people were, what was happening? Or was one devotee's mother came to see Srila Prabhupada, and she attended the morning program, and she saw Prabhupada's Guru Puja and everything. And later on, after the morning program, she got to meet Srila Prabhupada. And she said to Srila Prabhupada, she said, she said, Swamiji, I see your disciples worship you. And Prabhupada looked at her and said, yes, and I also worship my spiritual master. So that is an important point to remember. It's not just you worship the spiritual master and the spiritual master's God, but the spiritual master, he also thinks of himself as a servant of his spiritual master. And he also worships his spiritual master. So parampara system is there. Don't be envious of the spiritual master. Sometimes people are envious. Oh, you're sitting on the big seat. Right, sometimes people would ask questions like that to Prabhupada. Why you have to sit on the big seat? We're all sitting on the floor. So Prabhupada would say, are you envious? Yeah, of course they are. They're envious. That's the fact. Don't be envious of the spiritual master. Try to understand, he's the confidential servitor of Krishna. He is accepting these things, not for his sense gratification, but to show how we should worship the spiritual master. To impress upon other people the importance of giving proper respect to the spiritual master. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very, very powerful in this matter. And he gave a lot of importance to this, making sure that people offered proper respect to understand the position of the spiritual master. Because without that, you're not going to make spiritual advance. And you may commit offenses. And with offenses, then your spiritual life is doomed. So this is an important message here in this chapter. Okay, we'll take a break. Would you have 10-minute break usually, or 5 minutes?
10 minutes.
Huh?
10 minutes, Maharaj.
10 minutes, okay. 10-minute break. Hare Krishna.